Hi everybody, I'm Naomi O'Hara from the Clinical Academy, and I am here today with Mary Hall-Scott from the USA, and we are going to be discussing the tones of Permablend sets and the tools that go with them. And she can ask me any questions that she's got that maybe she's been passed by you guys, and so that you're really clear on what these are all about and how they can help you with your treatments. So hi Mary, welcome.
Hi Naomi, thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to be on live with you from across the pond.
You're so welcome.
And I'm excited to come and visit you when this is all over. I know we've discussed that. So
I can't wait.
I wanted to do this today for those of us artists in the US that have questions. As you know, I own Micro PMU Tattoo Supply. And we carry these sets on our website. And because they're a bit newer and I'm gaining experience with them as we speak, I thought this would be a great opportunity for you to answer some questions for the artists over here.
Sure, no problem at all. So let me tell you a little bit about how these came about, Mary. So they're a collaboration between us, the Clinical Academy, and Permablend. And they are pre-modified pigments that come in 3 sets, and they are based on the Fitzpatrick tones. So they're based on the Fitzpatrick scale. Like I said, 3 sets. Set 1 is Fitzpatrick 1 to 2, which we're going to talk about today. And set 2 is Fitzpatrick 3 to 4, which I know we're going to be doing another live on to discuss that one. And set 3, which is for Fitzpatrick 5 to 6. Like I say, they're pre-modified, so I've already mixed these pigments for you, but we do have some tools that are available alongside these pigments that basically, I think my camera's just moved, that basically are going to tell you who these pigments are perfect for. So it's really more than a colour chart, and we call these the colour rulers, and basically it's telling you who they're perfect for, how you can darken these pigments. If you want to warm them further, you can. And I get a lot of questions about that, Mary, where people say, well, if they're pre-modified, why do I need to warm them further? So for me, I wanted to give people the choice, and when I'm using pre-modified pigments, I want to know how much they've been pre-modified. So if I get someone that's hugely cool, I can say, okay, that's great that that's pre-modified, but by how much, so that I can still assess, is that enough for this person who is demonstrating really cool tendencies in their skin. So if you had someone that had rosacea or that really vascular skin, you can choose to warm it up that slightly bit more, so that you know that you're going to get that pigment warm enough. And we've done that by giving these pigments a warmth value. So you've stocked Permablend, so you're already very familiar with Permablend's healed value. And I love that. I love the fact that they give you a healed value, so you can see, okay, this has got a light healed value, so that you're not going to use something with a light healed value on someone that's really dark. Just makes no sense. So with this, if you've got a lower warmth value, and the scale goes from 0 to 5, then you're not going to use that colour on someone which is really cool. You're much better to go with a warmth value which is higher, maybe 4 or 5 warmth value scale, so that you know that you're going for something warm enough for that person's skin.
Right. And I think one thing that I found fabulous about this ruler, and you and I have talked about this a little, is all of that information is included on here, because if you're a newer artist, a lot of this is newer information to you. And I just love the way you have spelled it out. I mean, if I have this ruler in front of me, it doesn't matter whether I'm new or whether I'm 10 years in. This is so easy to look at and decide. You've given us all the information, what to do if we want to warm it, if we want to darken, if we want to make it more sheer. You've provided all the values for us.
Great.
So I think that this is so valuable to the artist that you not only have created a blend that's specific for the Fitzpatrick scale, but that you've given us the guide and the information to go along with it. Because every time you start with a new set of pigments, there's a learning curve. And I think you've dramatically shortened that learning curve.
Oh, I'm really glad. That's exactly the aim. That was absolutely the aim. We were seeing a lot of people, and I don't just mean, you know, a handful, a lot of people on Facebook and on social media who were saying, hi, everybody, this is my client. What pigment do you think I should use on that person? And they're putting it out to the masses.
Sure.
And that I thought was quite worrying. You want to make the decision. Yes, I get where people want advice, but you're right. This is actually going to advise you, okay, this is your client. This is the color that's best for them. If you should need to darken it, maybe they're saying, but I want them a bit darker than that, then it will tell you what to do. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. I love the information that you've given. It's, like I said, it's very valuable and it's very explicit. I can look at this and know exactly what to do. Yes.
Okay, great. Have you had any other questions through? Because I know last time I spoke to you, you were going to be trying them in your studio.
Yes, and absolutely, when we're not shut down anymore, I will be playing with them a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So what I've done, what I've noticed is because you partnered with Permablend. So I started to practice with them, right? Because I don't have a person. So I started to practice with them and use practice material with them. What I have found is I wasn't surprised. So a strawberry blonde, which you named it, I wasn't surprised when I used that pigment on my practice material. I envisioned kind of what a strawberry blonde pigment would look like. And that's about what it was. Also, I found the consistency very nice. There were no surprises there. So I think as far as picking it up and using it, it's also going to be a very quick learning curve for people because I didn't find any surprises.
That's good. That's good. That's music to my ears, Mary. So just taking kit 1, which is what we're speaking about today, it's got in there a leaflet about, and when I teach my color theory, we're talking about 360 degrees of color. So everything that I'm thinking about when I am thinking about a color of pigment for my clients. So it's got a lot of information in there, which is already in all the sets. And like you said, let me find strawberry blonde, Mary, seeing as you have mentioned that one. So you're right, strawberry blonde is a strawberry blonde color. So you're absolutely right in that we're trying to get people thinking about the names of the colors in relevance to the actual color that they are. They range in the kit 1, it ranges from diamond pearl, which is the most ashiest color, and that is a warmth value of 0. It's got no warmth in it whatsoever. It's a really, really ashy. I actually mix this color more with my coloring in mind because I don't really want any warmth. I've got quite ashy hair, and anything brown or blonde wise that's got a little bit too much warmth in it looks odd with the rest of me. So I'm actually really trying to achieve that ashy color in my eyebrows. So ranges from diamond pearl, which has got 0 warmth value, all the way up to Red Riding Hood, which is a warmth value of 5. So you can actually treat everybody who is a Fitzpatrick 1 to 2 with this kit. And they can be mixed with each other if you want to try and adapt the colors to try and create a bit more of a bespoke brow color for your clients. They can be mixed, but that gives you a lot of choice. And you were saying earlier about new artists, so new artists can just use them as they are, but maybe more experienced artists can maybe tweak them a little bit by mixing them together, which is great.
Which I think is a perfect mix, because when I'm working with my new artists, I want to teach them to expect the results that they're going to get. So if they use something straight and they get a result, then they know what to expect out of that pigment before they start mixing together. And then I recommend 2 pigments together, not 5, or you end up with mud. But this diamond pearl is a fabulous color. For those of us back in the day that used to mix our own pigments, to mix and get this color is nearly impossible.
Really
I never accomplished it. So I'm glad that you're mixing them for us, because that's a fabulous color. Oh, yeah, no, I think that this is just fabulous. Like I said, there weren't any surprises. The strawberry blonde looks strawberry to me, and I think they're going to find that as they pick these up and they use these. And you know, we're talking about the kit today that is Fitzpatrick 1 to 2. Another thing that you and I talked about, the reason that I think these are so great is where I live. I live in a Scandinavian, Midwestern community. I mean, I have done a handful of Fitz 5, Fitz 4, and 5 people in my career, and I'm educated and I know how to do them, and I do it with great success. But you know, a kit 1 to 2 or a kit 3 to 4, if I'm just starting out and I have a limited amount of money and I want to get used to a kit, it makes more sense for me to buy the kit that matches my demographics, which I think is another. I love the way you've broken it down for those reasons also.
I'm glad. Yeah, you're right. And that's exactly the same here in the UK. Certain areas you do a lot more dark skinned clients, other areas then you're going to be maybe not seeing so many dark skin, maybe doing more fairer, lighter skin clients. So you're absolutely right. The other thing that we Anne-Marie from Permablend and I discussed the other day was about how people see colour, which I find really, really interesting. And the good thing with the kits are that if you've got something to compare it to, you know if a colour is warmer or cooler. Whereas if you've just got a couple of individual pigments, you've got nothing else to compare it to. So you might think, okay, strawberry blonde doesn't look that warm, but if you've got it to compare it to diamond pearl and barley blonde, you'll start to see that actually they're getting warmer as they're going along. So you've got that to compare it to, so you can actually say this is warmer than this color, or this is cooler than this color, or this is even warmer. You've got that to compare, which I think is really important, especially when you're starting out, to have that range of colors for you to kind of train your eye, really.
Right. I think that is so important, because you visually can learn, and most of us are visual learners. And then once you find out what your favorites are, or the ones that you're going to use more often, then it makes sense to order, you know, the individual ones. But I absolutely agree with you. When you can, you know, I always shake them up and look at the bottoms of them and put them side by side, and that is visual. And I do know what's warmer and cooler without even looking at the, you know, names of them. For those of us that have done this a long time, you can pick something up and look at it. So I think the kit does help with that also. I totally agree.
Good. And just to speak about Red Riding Hood, which is the really warmer color in kit 1 to 2, I use this a lot for Fitzpatrick 1. So your really fair client who's got freckles, so you know they're going to pull even cooler. They've got that violety undertone as well. I just use Red Riding Hood on its own, because I know that sounds like it could be scary. Think, my gosh, they're going to be going out with very warm eyebrows. But for that particular client, you really do need to use a color that's very warm, because they will naturally ash that color out themselves. And by the time they've ashed this out during the healing process, it's going to be the perfect color for them. So Red Riding Hood, don't be afraid to use it on its own for Fitzpatrick ones that have got that freckly skin, red hair. They are going to be really, really cool.
That's great advice. And as we all know, if somebody comes back, we would rather have them a little warmer than we would a little cooler.
Yes, yes, definitely.
That's great advice that can be used on its own.
I don't think they will come back. If it's that client that I'm describing, they won't. And I get a lot of people say, this is my client. am I going to be all right to use red riding on its own? Like, yeah, you will. It's something you might think, you have to explain to your client they're going to be warmer when we first do them, and over the next couple of weeks they will cool down. But like you say, much better to do that than have them come back in 4 weeks time and they've got grey eyebrows, which is so difficult to correct, especially on someone that's got those freckly skin and really full undertones.
Absolutely. Well, that's good news too. All right. I think you answered. The only other thing I did want to mention is I love your little brochure too, because this information is completely different than this information. So now I have lots of information. So, but I think that was some of the questions that we had, and I look forward to doing the other Fitzpatrick ones as well. So I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate you helping us out over here as we get accustomed to the tones of Permablend.
You're welcome. No problem at all. Lovely to speak to you, Mary.
You too. Thank you so much.
I really look forward to you using these when you get some clients that you can use them on.
When I can do real skin and not
when
just
you can do real
skin.
people. Yeah, absolutely.
Real people. All right.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mary. Bye.